Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and this is going to be a real quick video on how to replace a idler pulley bearing on my LS engine. Now, I started not to make this video, but after some comments that I got from some viewers saying, hey man, the things that you're doing is really helpful, I decided to go ahead and make it. It's not LS based, it's just something that can help you out. If you didn't know you could replace bearings and certain things. So let me take you over here and show you what I'm talking about. I had a John Deere lawnmower one time that had a clutch, and the clutch had a bearing in it, and from John Deere it was really expensive, and I bought the bearing for like a third of the cost and replaced it myself. And if you don't know this kind of thing exists, I'm going to show you. We'll take the bearing out of this pulley, and we'll replace it with one I got off of online. And you know, you can go to your local parts store and buy these pulleys. Anywhere from $20 up to $50 is what I seen them for going online. But if you want to save a little money, I think this bearing at the time that I bought this was like $8. So with just a few tools and a few minutes of time, you can save yourself a little money. So let me get set up and I'll show you how to take this off. Like I said, this is going to be a very short video. We're just going to take this bearing out and put a new bearing in, and we're done. So I'll get you set up on the tripod and show you what I'm talking about. So for those of you that's been keeping up with the channel, you know I'm LS swapping an S10, a first gen S10, and in my recent videos I had purchased these Amazon power steering pump and alternator brackets. And in doing that, I bought a new pulley because my pulley, the bearing was squeaking, and I didn't want to put a squeaky bearing in there and have my belt squeaking. So I got to thinking about it. In years past, you know, lawnmowers, your hub assemblies on your lawnmowers, I had a lawnmower clutch I just explained to you. You can replace those bearings. And I'm going to show you how I did it, how we're going to do it in this idler pulley, if you'd like to do that, and then identify what you'll need going forward. Like I said, these are $20 to $50. This bearing at the time of this video was $8, less than $10 shipped to my door in a couple of days. So if you got a little time on your hands and you want to, you know, just make some repairs in the shop, that's a quick and easy way to do it if you've got time to wait on your part to come in, or sometimes your local machine shops will even sell you bearings they sell to the public. So in this case, what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to turn this thing over, and I'm going to, last time what I did is I clamped this in a vise, and I put my socket on here, and I just spun this retainer off. But you can actually just drive the bolt out. It's not a big deal. Now you've got your retainer and your bushing with it has a boss on it, or a lip, so that when it goes back inside that bearing, even on the replacement, you have to have this piece. It goes on this side of it. So now that we've got that off, I've got a socket that's just big enough to knock this bearing out. I'm going to go over here to the vise and knock it out. I do have a press, but I wanted to show you guys that may not have a press, or the option to press one out, that you can just do it with just regular shop tools. You just want to make sure that this socket is the size of this outer race of this bearing. You don't want to be beating on the inside of this seal here. So let me knock this bearing out, and we'll put the new bearing in, and I'll talk about some of the details you'll need to know about identifying your bearings. Now, what you want to do, guys, is verify your measurements on your old bearing to your new bearing, which I have. These are identical. And a key thing to notice, or a key thing to do when you're trying to identify the bearing, if I can get you close enough to see, if you look at these numbers right here, you'll be able to see that this is a 6203 bearing. Most of the time, sometimes it'll be stamped on the inner race, and sometimes it'll be on this lip. I'm trying to get it up here where you can see. If you can see, that says 6203 right across the top here, and it's a LUA bearing. There's also some other numbers. When you're identifying bearings, make sure that if it has any codes or any other numbers behind it, this is the new one, that you get the correct bearing. This is a 6203-2RS, and those numbers mean something. Some of them mean that they have a seal on both sides. Some of them mean they only seal on one side, and some of them have steel seals inside of here that are open. This is a seal bearing. We don't want any contamination. It's rubber on both sides. And make sure it's the right bearing. Do your research. Make sure it's the right bearing for your application. If it's a high-speed bearing, or if it's this thing's got to be able to turn a lot of RPMs. So I'm going to put this one back in now, and we'll go back over here and I'll show you how to put the nut and the spacer back in with the keeper, and we'll call this done. Okay guys, we got our bearing seated. It sits just flush inside the hub of the idler pulley. Spins nice and free, feels really nice. And if you got this apart, if you want to go ahead and put a fresh coat of paint on it and make it look like it's new, feel free to do that. But basically all I'm going to do is I got my washer with my bolt. I'm going to stick it through here. Don't forget your hub that has or your spacer that has the hub on it. It's going to fit down inside your bearing, and I've got a socket just the size of the bolt. I'm going to put it on here. I also have a socket that just fits the outside edge of this bearing, and we will put that on there. That way we can make sure we can drive it straight on. We'll just tap this down. Doesn't take a lot. Till it's flush. And there you have it. You just repaired your idler pulley for less than 10 bucks in a few minutes time. Well, that's going to end out the video. And like I said, I wasn't going to make it, but because of the viewers' comments, hey, your videos are helping me, I thought, some people out there might not know you can replace bearings. Like I said, they work in your lawnmower hub assemblies, all kinds of things in your shop use bearings, even your grinders, things like that. You can change those bearings. Just make sure, again, that you've got the right part number for what the application for the bearing is. If it has a dash or a number, a rubber seal on both sides, metal seal on one side, make sure you get what you're looking for. With the online resources we have available, there's no sense with a few dollars and a few minutes of your time that you can't fix stuff around the house a lot cheaper than you can buy it in the store. So with that being said, I'm gonna let you guys go. Thanks for watching. Hit that like button if you like this content, and I'll catch you in the next episode.